Hi, YouTube. We're gonna wait about 4 minutes and then we're gonna start this movie. So the way this is gonna work is just like last time when we watched Suicide Squad. Wonder if that gets me demonetized because I said the word suicide in the first 8 seconds. Anyway, there will be a timer down here at the bottom on screen. You can sync up your movie with that and you will hear my reactions. If you start at the same time I do, you will hear my reactions at the same time. You can sync them up and it'll be fun. If you are currently watching this live, you can join the Discord voice chat and you can comment on the movie live and watch it with us live in the Discord. It is up to you. If you want to join the Discord but you don't want to talk because you don't want your voice recorded, that's totally fine. But, you know, it is there. It is an option.
Why don't you restart over the YouTube video and you can just, call it the KYS crew.
No. Can't do that. Can't do that. I honestly don't know if they would, the word suicide is not something that should, get me... It shouldn't get me in trouble. It might, but it shouldn't. So I'm curious to see what happens.
You said it twice, now you're in trouble for sure.
I've said it like 5 times. But yeah. I will give people a little bit more time to get in here.
YouTube's algorithm bot when the thing starts with Suicide Squad and moves on to I'm thinking of ending things.
Oh god, fuck, you're right. YouTube's gonna be so upset with me.
Googling the trigger warnings for this was fun.
It's a movie that goes places, that's for sure.
Well, I'm more talking about how I pretty much immediately got redirected to the NHS suicide hotline.
Oh yeah, it does that. When I tried to Google...
The movie itself really not that bad. Name of the movie. Difficult to
parse. You would think at this point Google would be like, okay, this movie's been out for 3 years. We know what it is. It's like, All right.
I mean, at least Google is looking out for me, I guess, question mark.
Google loves you, question mark?
Google loves all of us.
Google loves me, this I know.
Now, I'm thinking of that really creepy Jesus Loves You song from the Binding of Isaac trailer.
Oh, I was just thinking of the Jesus Loves Me, This I Know song from Bioshock.
Bioshock Soundscape, anyone?
No. That's not a real thing. You made that up.
I mean, listen, not everyone played with that because, as we learned afterwards, that was your own fault.
No, it wasn't. It was the game's fault.
Well, yeah, it was the game's fault, but it was your own fault for not assuming that the...
No, it's not, because I looked up, videos of the game afterwards, like the base game, and it still does that. It is not just my fault or just, whatever. The base game still does that.
Hey, I'm being sarcastic.
No, I know, but I'm saying I thought it was just my fault, but I looked up videos of the base, regular, not remastered version of the game. It's not as bad, but it's still pretty bad. But yeah, the remaster's totally messed up. Totally fucked. I'm 3 minutes in, I can say it. It's totally fucked. Ojimu, hi. Alright. Stream on Discord, start. Movie timer. Let me make sure that chrono up. Yeah, let me make sure. Okay. I start them both now. We are watching the version on Netflix, so if you were doing the same, you would have had the little the Netflix in, just to make sure that anybody watching this on YouTube is synced up properly.
Watch stream.
But if you are on stream right now, I would suggest muting it so you don't hear yourself or me twice. And on a delay even. Disgusting.
2 times the Kyria? Sounds like a good deal to me.
So maybe Kyria.
Listen, don't get the self-cessed kinksters started.
Wow, it just instantly starts with a title drop, huh? And the title is exactly about what it sounds like. You're just describing a fucking STP.
Miss Thanatos, would it be possible for you to full screen it?
Oops, yeah, sorry. It's okay, I hate meeting the parents too. Hate it. Who is this guy? I always think he's Matt Damon, and he's not Matt Damon, but he looks like a ginger Irish Matt Damon.
What the fuck are you talking about?
The guy in the car.
He doesn't look anything like Matt Damon.
Yes, he does. Put them side by side. Their facial shapes are really weirdly similar. Obviously, I can't tangent in the middle of a movie, especially with the timer, but like, look it up. Their face shapes are really weird and similar.
Also, Hexer's good night.
You were just saying how much you liked him. What? Hey, you can't say that. That's transphobic. Ally! Ally! Jesse Plemons, that's his name. He looks just like a weird Irish Matt Damon.
So, fun fact about William Wordsworth. He grew up about an hour from my house.
Damn.
I need a swing set.
Is this how straight relationships are? I'm so uncomfortable. Just so uncomfortable.
Yeah, these people do not want to be talking to each other.
They don't seem to like each other that much.
Huh, this guy looks kind of like Matt Damon.
Yeah, he does!
Conversation is awkward, isn't it?
Cool.
So why did you ask her if she wanted to listen to something?
He's trying to cut the tension.
If I was either of them, I'd jump out of the car. True, Eve. I don't know if this is correct to say because I don't know anything about opera singing, but she's hitting the high notes too high and it hurts my ears. I think she's bad at singing. Oh my god, you're so depressed. Christ. Good line. A wife-shaped loneliness.
I'm something of a wife-shaped loneliness.
Thought you were a dog.
Let's not get into this now.
So she memorized this?
This is what you wanted her to perform? While you're in the middle of a fucking... Oh my god, dude. Just say you want clinical depression and go.
Kyrie, are you reading the like built-in voice chat thing?
What are you talking about?
The one that you get from like clicking into the chat on the voice chat?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
Oh, damn, I didn't realize that people were talking in there. Shit. That's what we have theater chit chat for.
It's a little easier to use this when you are watching because you can have them both on one screen easier.
That makes sense. No, she said she's fine, True. That means she's fine.
Like, this guy is trying to have a conversation with his girlfriend and she's stonewalling him at every opportunity.
When I was like about 6 years ago, I talked exactly like this woman. I stonewalled everybody in every conversation and was just weird
I'm
like this.
so glad I know you now and not then.
Yeah. I was insufferable. But I hated myself and I hated everybody else around me. Lynn, you are not insufferable.
That's my friend you're talking about.
Yeah, I missed that sign. What did that sign say?
You could I guess you can't rewind it a bit.
What movie is this?
I'm thinking of ending things, is what it's called.
Maybe you should put, like, on the stream what movie we're watching.
I did.
Oh, I see it in the title.
Yeah, I just did. Would have
How did they
considered
just,
you
like,
insufferable
arrive
zombie?
so
Yeah, that's
sudden?
totally fair. I mean, they didn't. They've been in this car for like 22 minutes almost.
No, I mean, like, there was no approach, there were no turns. It was just kind of like 1 second they were talking, and the next they were literally already there.
Well, true.
Even the tracks are just straight, perfectly straight, and then suddenly a veer off and there.
She's about to get murdered.
Well, good timing. She's been thinking of ending things.
True.
I like how I just noticed an @Flynn.
She was not wearing that outfit a second ago.
Yeah, she was. She was wearing the.
Yeah,
She's
she
wearing
took
the.
her coat off in the car. Oh,
You are so depressed.
Mood, though.
You look at beautiful animals in this like bountiful like nature you're experiencing and just go, this place is depressing and sad. Like, please.
Ugh.
Maybe the real depressed and sad was inside of her all along.
Maybe. Why are you?
This dude is getting creepier.
She's also just weird.
She's just depressed. He's like...
Oh, yummy.
At least says a lot about society.
I sent a thing to the chat that is relevant to sheep.
Okay, she definitely had different colored gloves at the start. She had yellow gloves at the start. I noticed because they were very brightly colored.
Yeah, no, you're right. Did his outfit
Thank
change?
you.
I thought you meant, true, when you said that, I thought you meant literally her whole outfit change. It might have just been that, yeah.
I couldn't put my exact finger on what had changed, but I knew that something had.
I'm pretty bad at paying
Something's
attention
wrong.
to like costume design like that, so.
It's like the line that she said
Sound.
earlier about how she wasn't sure when she started feeling this way, but she knows that something is different.
I watched the trailer and it spoiled like half the movie.
Trailers are bad about that.
Yeah, that's why I don't watch trailers. Are her earrings different now? Didn't she have like big black ones before?
I don't think so.
I think she did.
How romantic.
Yeah, they got me examining. Y'all got me examining every fucking like costume every second.
And think like, was that record player there the whole time?
God damn it! I was too busy looking at the costumes. I don't know. Fucking dick.
This movie feels somewhat targeted. As someone who has a lot of memory issues and depression and some amount of hallucinations.
Wait, it's a radio now?
That was definitely a record player before.
Maybe it's a. Is there also a record player? Is there both?
No, it was definitely just a record player.
It was the kind you have to pick up the top to put the record in. The radio was definitely.
Yeah. You can just feel the raw sexual tension between these two. Yeah, for sure. So fucking motherfuckers quoting Tolstoy at us now.
The here they come into them not coming.
Wait, do not tell me those are kids. Do they have kids now?
They waved at you. They know you're here.
I'm all the way over here.
A big enough fire can heat up a room pretty quick.
Why does that call again the lesbian flag on the wall?
Sorry, he just told you he's scared of the basement. Why would you attempt to trigger that?
I think it's more she's just trying to see. I mean, he's scared of it, but why would he not let her go to the door? I love dogs.
Fuck you.
Was quoting her, dipshit.
It's okay, Lynn. We love you too.
Dog.
Jimmy didn't exist before. You okay, Jimmy?
Did he say the dog's name?
Yeah, Jimmy.
Jimmy.
Okay.
Is that the woman from
Oh, I hate
Hereditary?
these people.
Is that the woman from Hereditary? Is that the mom from Hereditary?
Was that Band-Aid always there?
Yes.
Yeah, it was.
Oh.
Welcome to the family, son.
Ethan's just been appearing in everything today.
That is absolutely the woman from Hereditary. Okay. Why does she keep being in movies like this? Movies about the trauma of family.
Her sweater was not that color before.
Oh my god,
No,
you're
it
right.
was
It
not.
wasn't. Yeah.
Wait.
Well, to be fair, she could.
Wait,
It's,
It was warm. It was warm reds before.
to be
They
fair, she could have changed her. Like, it's later in the night. She could have changed.
The exact
Wait.
same pattern. It's just
They
a
say
different
she's a
color.
painter now? Wasn't she a poet?
No, he was just saying
Wasn't she
she's a.
going to school?
He was just saying that she's
No,
like.
but then
that-
she was like writing a paper about rabies.
Yeah.
She was writing a paper about rabies.
Okay, yeah, I don't know that one. But I don't think she was actually a poet. He was just saying she is a poetic person.
She wrote a poem and recited it earlier. She is a painter, they are discussing.
Yeah. Mom. That's. No, it's not. That's a very. Okay. It's a very basic, like, proposition of art. You're stupid, my man. My man's like, my favorite movie is Avengers Endgame. Louisa and Lucy.
Oh no!
Who is Louisa and Lucy? I don't remember.
Isn't Lucy her name?
No, I don't think so. Maybe it is.
Yeah, because when they were talking about William Wordsworth.
Oh my god. Mom!
Jesus.
I'm so uncomfortable. Oh.
This movie's made to just make people feel bad.
It feels like I'm watching Hereditary, which is a compliment because Hereditary made me just as uncomfortable. It's all right. Your dad can be a little racist or and sexist as a treat, I guess. Your dad. You're so uncomfortable. Why did you even bring her here?
Shut up, Dad.
What does that mean? Is that a UK term? What does a Nancy mean?
It's a derogatory term for a gamer.
Ah. Okay, you know what, Mom? +2. That was a good way to turn your mistake into something funny. +2. Yeah, it's a fucking joke. You'd be terrible as a streamer.
You okay, my guy?
So far, like obviously the parents are like really creepy too, but so far the boyfriend is like the worst. I don't know.
He's giving her a verbal -2.
The subtitle keeps saying young woman laughing, by the way.
Yeah, this was pointed out earlier. Somebody said it in the chat. It's interesting. Do we actually know what her name is?
I'm sure it's Lucy.
They said Lucy earlier.
No, Lucy is the person who called her.
No, but they did say her name was Lucy earlier.
Yeah,
But
they
we
were
don't know if that's
talking about
actually...
William Wordsworth and how he had a poem about Lucy and about how she's perfect and how it reminds
Oh yeah, how their names are
him
the
of
same.
her because
Right.
she's also Lucy and perfect.
Why are you... You know, when somebody's telling like a meet cute story, you don't have to like poke holes in it. Just let them tell the story.
God, Lily, imagine the cinema sins we had to go on this movie.
God. She watched him be a complete loser and went, I can't not fuck him.
Hilarious.
Wait, why does she seem like she fit in with them now?
Oh no.
Hit the fucking ball, England. That framing. Oh, that's why she's all talking happy and all that fits in now, because she's drunk. She's drinking their bootleg moonshine.
It was like her first drink of wine.
Yeah, but that was a big jug for wine. That looked like moonshine to me. Who's this fucking old guy?
The janitor.
Yeah, but why do they keep cutting to him in like a school too? Who is this guy?
I thought you said the gender, and I don't know why.
Oh, hey, I know that actress. Is this movie shot in 4:3? Yeah, it is the same woman from The Boys.
And then everyone stood up and clapped.
Yeah, if you're watching this video on YouTube, you're watching me watching a guy watch a movie.
Good movie, right?
Wait, I don't get it.
That's really
Wait,
good. Robert Zemeckis is another filmmaker. It's basically a call out. That was the movie equivalent of a shitpost call out post about his type of movie.
Oh, she knows. Yeah, she definitely knows.
Knows what?
Just what's going on.
She's wearing something different now, but she also could have just taken off her like top, her like sweater.
She could have gotten changed for dinner.
No, she's definitely just come back, but I'm saying that could have just been her dress under the sweater.
Also, mom just looks like different.
A little bit.
Yeah, she looks younger.
The band-aid on his head clearly moved.
Yeah, it did.
That's what it was.
I mean, I'm not gonna call him out like every time, but his shirt is different again now than it was at the dinner.
What is?
His like the button-up undershirt, not the jacket, but the one underneath.
I've been
that.
looking at that. I can't tell if it's different. Is it?
It's hard to tell for a lot of the
She
changes.
wasn't wearing that necklace before, I don't think.
Or the earrings.
No, she wasn't.
No,
No,
her
she
earrings,
wasn't.
her earrings and necklace changed. Yeah, before she had like blue hoops.
Yeah, no, he had a solid blue shirt before.
Wait, does she kind of look like the girl from the shitpost about Robert Zemeckis? Now?
Maybe?
Is this like maybe this is the janitor's memories? Maybe he's Jake but super old? He better be a white and black dog.
Still wet somehow.
You can't even see. God, this is weird.
Exactly my type of shit. Exactly my type of shit. I love movies like this.
Looks
Looks
like
like
her.
yeah, it looks like oh no, it's him?
Because
It
there
just
was some hair
changed.
by her neck before that isn't there now.
It was definitely her and then it just changed.
Yep.
Dude, I love to eat hot logs of shit. What fucking thumb do you have that looks like that? Seek help. Go to a doctor.
Is she?
Hmm?
The angle makes her look... Okay, for a second the angle made her look like she was pregnant, but it just
Yeah,
took
no, I
away.
thought the same thing. His shirt is different. Dad's shirt is. It was red before.
Maybe.
You need serious psychiatric help.
Everybody here does.
Yeah, it's me. It's me telling you to get stonks.
Leave the girl. We don't need her.
God damn it, Len.
It's the PS5 inside your brain. Why is the phone that loud?
Wait, Yvonne is the person in the... was the person in the shitpost.
He got quieter for her to hear.
I hate this movie, and that means that I like it.
See, it wasn't important.
If none of this is real. None of the characters, none of the anything. Maybe it's all the machinations of a dying man's mind. You know, at least these two deserve each other. That's quite the soul read, Kyria? No, it's not. Keep showing us a seemingly unrelated old man, and he's watching movies about a girl with orange hair and like a guy or whatever that are in love. Seems like the janitor's maybe like remembering parts of his life through characters that he's kind of like making up in his head from the movies that he's watching. That's why nobody's consistent, both in appearance and in personality. Yeah, who is Lucio? Creepy.
We're in the basement.
I say that's what the basement's for, right?
Ah, yes.
Cool.
This
The
is
question-
normal.
Jake's name always stays the same.
So oh, she has her sweater back on. So did he just call her Lucia?
I think so.
Yes.
Her
Yeah,
name
yeah.
has definitely changed, I think.
The question is why
I keep saying young woman for when she speaks. But it always says Jake for Jake.
I have the chains and the
Ugh.
dog. The dog rattles and then it's the chains.
And he's gone.
The only thing so far that's remained consistent is Jake's name.
Jake and like the shape of the house. Not even the
I didn't
items
know
in
the shape of the house.
The shape of the house has remained consistent. At least so far.
I'm not entirely sure that's actually true. Some of the shots have been kind of questionable.
There's one thing in the very beginning when you don't know the layout of the house yet. He walks to the left, like when you're going in the door, that left, and he comes back out from the other side, but I'm not sure it loops around like that.
I know that sounds like this is going to sound silly with
Also,
how much the
wait.
movie is changing, but that could be a shot error.
Also, the stairs seem to go up even further, but it looked like a two-story house from the
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
definitely
Now it's a
two-story.
All right, you know what? I spoke too soon about the shape of the house, okay? I'm sorry. Right as I spoke about
Oh,
it.
it's Jake's childhood bedroom.
Oh yeah, that's definitely how you name things.
It's written in
You
a child
can,
scrawl, but a child would never write like his childhood bedroom on there.
Not without being
You
prompted.
can cross off comedic timing on your bingo now.
Oh damn, he left. He left.
Also, this room is like, not only is it like lit up, but like,
It's like freshly lived in.
Yeah, it has completely different lighting to the rest of the house.
Jimmy is
oh
dead.
my,
Rest in peace, Jimmy.
This is a dying old man's memories. The question is, why is a dying old janitor viewing himself as a young 20-year-old like woman with orange hair?
can't believe the dog is dead.
Maybe it's like someone he was obsessed with in high school or something.
Bone Dog, the name of the poem.
Oh yeah.
Wait, this is exactly what she recited earlier. What was the name of the poem?
Bone Dog.
Oh.
He's gotten older.
Yep, we saw the sign. Ding. Fuck off!
Ding.
Kyria says the same thing that the movie is about to say. Ding.
Where does Band-Aid go?
He's old.
Yeah, he was definitely younger in the last scene because his
Oh,
hair was.
There
significantly
hasn't
so,
been a
yeah.
single label.
Oh yeah, you just want to fuck in your childhood bed?
Who is this? Carrier's mom?
Yeah, apparently.
I like how he said it right after you said it.
Soul reads will continue forever until morale improves.
Okay, good news is CinemaSins has not done this movie.
Damn, I was gonna watch it after.
He would see he would miss lobbying in series, but he would see like the first like costume change. It'd be like costume inconsistent. Ding.
You'd have 500
I did
cents for that
find
alone.
I did find a video called "I'm Thinking About Ending Things in Garbage," though.
Oh, fuck off.
I will link it to you.
No, please don't.
Excellent work, Samantha.
We know she's gonna watch it.
I'm probably not. I don't like people doing that to movies like this.
Labels!
Now they're everywhere.
Oh. Wait, is Jake older too?
No, I don't think so.
Same Jake, just different suit.
Can't stay in your memories anymore, janitor. I don't think the janitor is Jake. I think that's too easy.
His mom's so proud of him.
He's like Tommy Tallarico.
His mom is very proud.
So proud.
Hey Tabitha, did you know that Jake has a fountain in his house, but he can't walk by it sometimes at night? He has a pin on him that says diligence.
Yep.
My son's a fucking idiot, but he still managed to make it to adulthood.
No, it's the opposite. My son's a pathetic loser, but he's a genius and he didn't do anything with it.
Right.
Is this is the janitor, right?
This is the janitor.
This is Juan Itor.
He's like leaning away.
He clearly doesn't want you. Why does nobody in this movie respect consent?
I love that line.
It's a good line.
She came down from the 3rd floor.
Transitory shot. Yeah, exactly. She's bouncing all over the place just like her emotions. I think that was one of the other
That was one of the ones that texted her earlier.
Yeah.
That's the movie.
Remember how the guy in the movie that she was serving, the orange-haired lady, was like an old man? Yep. Can't believe you got to make a shit post about Robert Zemeckis and tie it into the greater plot of your movie. God damn it, Charlie Kaufman, you're a genius.
Needed to go upstairs. They went into the other room.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, she's younger again.
She's also moved back a few generations.
And the lights are on everywhere.
She's like, yeah.
She's like
young.
She's like a 50s
Like-
house mom now.
Yep.
Toys everywhere.
As if like Jake is like a child again.
And she's talking about him as if he's a burden. All right.
Let's
Jake
fluff
didn't
up
want
the
her down here.
cushions.
She's saying disobey. So she's saying don't fall into that pattern of behavior where you start accommodating Jake.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's not pretty. I mean, I guess this might just be because of where it's positioned, but like it's a pretty short door, right? Like she's not that tall.
Yeah, no, that's a short door.
But I mean, I guess that's just it's just a basement door beneath the stairs, so. Something is wrong.
So the basement, this is maybe a weird read, but the basement's full of cleaning supplies. Ah, there's the janitor's outfit. I was gonna say the basement's full of cleaning supplies. Maybe we don't go to the basement because it pulls us closer to the present and outside of this, like, fiction. Bye, Samantha.
Well, no one goes down in the basement. It's sealed off. There's nothing down there.
Yeah, basement.
Ralph Albert Brakelock.
Blake Lock.
Those are her drawings.
Blakelock.
Yeah, those are her paintings. Signed by him. Why is he experiencing Jake? If he is Jake, which I still feel like iffy about, why is he experiencing Jake's life through her? That shot with the light behind her.
His turn.
That's Liam Neeson.
No, it's not. But it does look a lot like an older Liam Neeson.
I feel it's relevant to point out I do have a mild case of face blindness.
It's alright.
Okay, then goes in for the hug.
You know, earlier they talked about the chains on the bed. And there's been a lot of imagery of like somebody dying now. Even specifically in a
referring to it
hospital
as a
bed.
bed.
Yeah, they
Truck has a
clearly is
bed.
not a
A
truck.
car doesn't have a bed.
Yeah.
I feel like the devs weren't paying attention when they made this movie. There's a lot of inconsistencies.
The earrings have changed again. Oh, well, why am I getting hugs?
You had one glass. They're moving, I think. About rabies?
And then does somebody get rabies in that movie?
Oh no.
Oh yeah, now she is smoking. She's also talking with a slight New York accent. She sounds like a critic.
Yeah. Like, her mannerisms are completely different as well. She's acting a lot more smug.
I hmm.
That's how long this movie is. He is criticizing his own movie.
Her voice has changed.
Oh, an old woman is like voicing her now. They're dubbing over the voice.
That or she's just doing a different voice. It's definitely talking.
It's definitely like a different accent, yeah. God, this shot is so lonely. Cinematography in this movie has been fucking incredible.
Yeah, true. Like, it's like 1 a.m. here, and I'm sitting here in the dark, and I'm actually kind of like unnerved by this entire thing.
Yeah, exactly how I feel, Trube. Just waiting for the other shoe to drop. I feel like this feels like a movie where the characters are all on the verge of a fight, like a screaming match, but nobody will actually say the thing that pushes them into that screaming match.
Oh.
You 12?
I don't like this version of the lady.
Yeah, it looks like a pile of shit.
Quick, Andy, write these down for your VTuber ideas.
Did he say my homosexuality?
I don't think so.
At school?
Well, ostensibly they're students, but
No. Okay, he is the janitor, I guess? But why is it not from his POV, then? These are clearly his memories that he's going through.
I thought it was the girl's memories.
No, the
I
girl is
think
the
it's
POV.
intentionally to be obscured.
The girl is the
They're
POV.
not memories.
The girl is the POV character, but it's going through his, like, something, his delusions. Something of his.
I thought they were both the main character and they were switching perspectives slightly.
No. This
I
thing
can
is in the
explain it
middle of
afterward.
nowhere. No, nobody's spoiling the movie. Wait,
No, we're just
Tulsi isn't...
theorizing.
Tulsi is in Oklahoma. Wasn't that the name of the play he was watching earlier?
Well, I think they're in Oklahoma is why.
Yeah, but there's the oh no, that's Tulsa, you're right. Tulsa, Oklahoma. What? He's like a baby.
It's so awkward.
They aren't memories, but this is something.
What kind of ice cream do you guys want?
Her? Do they have the same, like, scars on their hand? Don't say I'm not lucid. Dying, idiot! Oh, that made me want Dairy Queen. Fuck.
I had it for lunch yesterday and I want it again. Those are so big.
I haven't had Dairy Queen in... Fuck. Long fucking time. Or like Culver's or just like any like ice creams. I really don't eat ice cream that much, come to think of it.
Clearly, next time you
Culver's
order
is really
fast food,
good.
you gotta get an ice cream.
We don't have Culver's here.
Or 3.
I make my own ice cream.
Used to do that when I was a kid. My grandparents. It was really fun.
So his hands aren't even on the wheel? Oh, okay.
I made a batch of pina colada ice cream yesterday.
Yummy. That's actually my problem with it too. No, you're cold because you're dying. Well, yeah, Lily, they're both like, they're both in this moment. They'll both have a memory of this moment. You guys,
Oh my god, they're both like...
you both barely ate it.
They're melting in the middle of a blizzard? I guess they probably have the heat on, but still.
Yeah, they're in a heated car. It's the woke mind virus.
Oh no, Connor got to him.
Like, they're fucking talking about Society of the Spectacle? What the fuck is this movie?
She looks completely different now, right?
Yeah, that's the actor from the waitress thing. For a second, that was the waitress actor. The one from The Boys.
Oh my god, it's literally the woke mind virus. Also, have you noticed there's been like no music in this movie?
Except for the times where he said, let's put on some music.
Nope, that wasn't music
Yeah.
either. It was like weird, like not static, but weird, like
Yeah, it
gibberish.
was like a talk show.
Yeah, no,
The
there's
theme
been
to
no
Tulsi
music.
Town.
Well, there's Oklahoma, right?
Yeah, Oklahoma played earlier. That's it. Hi, Nikki. No, you didn't.
She grew up in an apartment, actually.
Yeah. There's music now.
Oh.
That's normal. You know this high school a little too intimately.
Oh, he admits it too, even worse.
Rural high school, by the way.
Did he even take the drinks with them?
So, first death of the movie?
Maybe, I have no idea.
Hate this dude.
It's okay, give it a couple of minutes and we'll have a completely new version of him.
The situation you're in right now. Hello, SSC. We are watching a movie in my Discord right now.
I can't handle half an hour more of this. I'm sorry, I gotta go.
That's fine. It's,
That's
yeah.
very reasonable.
It's got 30 more minutes stuff, but yeah.
That this is I know it's intentional, but this is so uncomfortable after the previous scene.
What does that mean?
How?
Uh,
Mud. Me anytime I go to visit family.
same.
They're fighting, but he's not even here. She's fighting with nothing. She's ranting.
This is literally how it is after I have an argument. I don't engage. This is me the night after.
You know, there's a word for that.
Yeah, there's like a French word for that.
L'esprit d'escalier, spirit of the stairs. It basically refers to the fact that you only think of a good comeback when you're walking down the stairs out the building.
Or like in the shower or something.
Oh, that's so true.
You know, I've had whole arguments in my head after the fact where I was witty as hell.
The question is, do I win the arguments in my head because my arguments are good, or because the straw man I've created of the other person is that bad?
Porque
I
no
usually
los
lose the
dos.
arguments in my head.
I know, she's getting very cold. The crying probably didn't help.
Well, time to break into the school.
There's probably chains in the truck bed.
You want to bet?
I would grab a stick or something and just start whacking my way through exterior windows.
Yeah, but then it wouldn't be like warm inside.
I mean, maybe not in that room.
Oh, the school. Okay, I thought you meant the car. I was gonna say, you break the windows of the car, it's not gonna be like good shelter.
Hmm.
People must really hate those burrs.
It's too much ice cream.
No, it's not time loops.
Weird that all the hall lights are on. Oh, he turned them on. Ooh.
That does look like it would be an old dick.
But then again, why is the POV her? He doesn't remember. So he didn't talk. Her. girlfriend and celebrating an anniversary.
Yep.
I can have my slippers.
She doesn't look older, but the way she's like talking and acting,
Yeah.
like just like obviously she's like losing her memory and stuff, but also like just the like her mannerisms feel older too.
That's Oklahoma. Lynn, is that like power tools at your house?
Yeah, sorry, they just do it without saying anything right outside my room.
It's all right.
It's just people opening and closing
The
squeaky doors.
creakiest door in existence.
That'll just show up.
No,
in
it is power tools.
No, I did too at first, Eve. It's like, why are there power tools in the movie?
I'm gonna be honest, so did I.
Wouldn't be the first time this movie was fucking weird.
The janitor wasn't letting on that there was actually a construction crew reworking the gymnasium.
This has all been the result of carbon monoxide poisoning.
So when
I
is
have
Nostalgia
enjoyed-
Critic gonna make a parody of this?
Don't say that.
I have been joined by the cat.
Hello, Svala.
It is actually Swala.
I actually would pay good money to see the Nostalgia Critic parody.
I would not. I would kill to have it not
It's-
exist.
It's okay, Lynn, she won't ban you this time. I'm on mobile and trying to do any moderator actions on Twitch mobile is a pain in the arse.
They're getting married?
This is the first time this movie has had a score.
Yeah. Basically.
Are they mosquitoes? Oh no, it's snow. A fucking moron.
All of this has just been the world's most confusing stage performance.
Yeah, not a great day to be him, huh?
He's throwing up blood. Like throwing up fake blood with fucking cloth.
Yeah, it was the day of his wedding too.
So I'm a little confused.
Only a little.
I was gonna say, at least you're only a little confused. Hmm.
Oh, it is carbon monoxide poisoning. Motherfucker is gone.
No, I don't think it is.
I hate this.
I only got 12 minutes left. 6 of that's probably credits. Oh, he's paradoxically undressing. That's a phenomenon where somebody gets cold and they think they're hot because their body's trying to regulate their temperature, so they undress. It's a symptom of hypothermia.
So is delirium.
That's why they got the ice cream.
Oh, the pigs.
Pig with the maggots in him. When it got up, the maggots fell out. Some of them did anyway.
We made like the exact same like bloodstain that was in the farm earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Love that old man, but that's a cute pig.
I'll give him this. He went back into a building with a heater inside of it.
I think he's already dead.
I think he's been dying for a while.
I can't believe you called it with the dying dream thing.
I told you I've watched a lot of movies. This is all the malformed dying dreams of a man who can't accept his own death. Reminds me a lot of another movie I watched called Mr. Nobody. He's just older, he looks frostbitten.
Even his hair's white.
Also, all of those people, their faces they're covered in like dust.
That's not dust, it's frost.
I guess. There she was. think it's makeup. I think it's makeup to make them look old.
No, I think maybe both.
Somebody's got to be the pig with maggots. But you didn't do any of this. He didn't do any of it. He never gave her his number. He never asked her out. She said so. That's why she's the POV. This is a man dying, possibly by suicide, who is remembering all of his life through the regrets that he had and wondering what his life would have been like if he had been with her instead. I'm not even sure he's a physicist. Maybe that's just what he always wanted to be. His mom talked about how he was smart, but then his dying mom talked about... He's a janitor,
right?
Yeah, well, his mom talked about how he was smart and how he was a genius, and then his dying mom said he had no special abilities, he had nothing. That he did nothing. And that's his truck. Jesus.
It's based on a book?
Yeah, it's based on a book by the same name.
Yep.
Jeez. This feels like such a movie, like, or like, I don't know how to say it. Like,
no, I know what you mean.
It
feels like it was made all like, it feels like the book does less. Like, if you were to read a book, you'd be like, this does less justice than like the adaptation could. It feels, like you said, like a movie. It's very
Like, if you-
cinematography focused. It's very there's a lot of show don't tell, which you can't do in a book. So
Yeah, like you can't say like if you say, "Oh, she was wearing this," and then 2 pages later say, "Oh, she's wearing this."
you
It's
can
like,
have characters notice something, but it's going to get weird if your character's everything. You're like, hey, why'd your shirt change? But then don't actually comment on it. Or if the narrator is just like, if you're writing a book and the narrator's like, she tugged on her yellow shirt, and then 2 pages later, there's, mayonnaise spilled on her red shirt. It's like, it's not going to look like the narrative is changing. It's going to look like the book is badly written.
So, do you want me to tell you from the story of the book what it like, who the characters were, what was going on?
Sure, I would love to hear. Was I right?
You were very close.
Damn.
So essentially, that character, the female character who never gets a solid name,
'Cause he never knew her.
is one of his characters that he has written because he does a lot of things trying to find his niche in the world. That's why you see the paintings, you see all of the different things he's tried to do. So she is like an original character that he has conceived of in his head. And she's thinking of ending things because he's thinking of ending things.
That's why she was talking about the... Oh, that makes so much sense about the conversation with the dad.
She doesn't want to die, though. Like, none of those thoughts are not hers. They don't belong to her. She's not interested in actually killing herself.
I know somewhat about the book, though. Isn't she based on a character? Like, isn't she based on a person that he met in real life?
He's not a very good writer, and he's not a very good painter, and he's not a very good singer or any of those things. So the reason that the guy's name is always Jake is because if you look at the painting when he wrote Jake on the thing, Jake is like his pen name. That's his self-insert in the story. So Jake always stays very similar. Like, his details are always almost exactly the same because that's his self-insert. He's going to keep that
and that's
the same
why the
every time.
personalities keep changing so much and the outfits and stuff, because he's not a very good writer.
Yeah, not just that, but also because, like, this is one story that's, he has never actually written this down, but it's been floating around in his head for a long time.
Oh my
He could make a
God.
story out of this, right?
Yeah.
And so the details never stay the same because, like, to her, those things aren't solid. She isn't sure what her job is she? Like, she knows what sounds wrong, but she's not sure exactly what's right. So this is a story told in, like, third person from the perspective of a character that lives in the person's head as his OC.
I'm reading the book synopsis now. Jake after a while, she discovers that she and Jake are the same person. They make their way to the janitor's room and climb in the closet. Jake becomes the narrator and recalls how he wishes he had given her his phone number that trivia night in the pub, but was too shy. He hoped to meet her again, but that never happened, so he wrote about her. He had to make it real.
So you were right, but it was also more than that.
I was right on theory, but, like, it's not his dying memories. It's kind of his dying memories. He's clearly all of the stories are based off of stuff that had happened to him, but, like, interspersed with, like, trying to make it an interesting story. Hi, that 90s show. Not the time, I think. Wow. That was a damn good movie. The cinematography alone was incredible.
Real, I regret coming in late.
That was a fucking incredible movie. God damn. Yeah, if any of you want a movie that's like that, that follows similar, like, psychological themes, it actually ends very differently. But Jared Leto, I know you, has a movie called Mr. Nobody. I would really highly recommend it, but only if this movie made you go like, God, I want, like, more weird, esoteric, unexplainable movies like this. If you're like,
we just had it explained to us.
If you're an insane person like me, you'll like Mr. Nobody. If you're a normal human being who likes to consume regular media, you probably won't. Is
he the Joker in that one too?
No. There is no
If you're a normal
damage from
human
this
being
one.
and like to watch normal media, we have this great movie for you. It's called Avengers Endgame.
You're gonna love it. Iron Man comes down and he says, "I am the Iron Man," and then the Iron Man's all over those guys. It's great. It's
And then he says,
great.
"Avengers assemble."
Yeah,
and
it's
everyone in
fantastic.
the crowd claps.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I saw that movie.
I
in
just
theaters.
realized
That did
the
happen.
joke I just made about him Iron Manning all over those people is actually true. He really
Yeah,
does say, I am the Iron Man, and then he Iron Man's all over those guys! That actually happens!
I thought that was on purpose.
That actually
same.
happens. That actually happens. I hate that. I hate that. He Iron Man's all over those guys. Oh, I hate that.
And then they have their moment where they're like, look how female empowering we are, by like, that's very, very forced. It's like,
Wow, that was a good movie. Okay,
yeah, I agree. Avengers Endgame is great.
okay, I'm gonna leave this call. Thank you everybody for hanging out. We're gonna do this probably next Sunday. We might do it a little bit earlier because I watched a movie just the other day before I got up while I was doing stuff. I watched a movie called Searching, which is incredible, and I really want to watch it with you guys. So we'll probably do that next. But I am going to, just like last time we watched the CinemaSins video, there's a video on this this movie called Dark Souls 3 is Thinking of Ending Things, and I've always wanted to watch it, and I never fully have because I wanted to watch this movie first. So we're gonna watch that because it's Jacob Geller, funny Jewish bearded man with good opinions. Anyway, you can catch it on the stream. I'm leaving the call now. Goodbye, thanks everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
What a bunch of whores, am I right? Anyway. Okay. So here's Dark Souls 3 is Thinking of Ending Things.
It would be absurd to say that Dark Souls 3 is underrated. The game has as high a metascore as the rest of the series. It had a massive launch and long-lasting player base. It sold 10 million
Well, hopefully that
copies
zombie was
in
cool
the past 5 years.
and showed you a
There are
cool
plenty
movie
of
that you
other
liked.
games, other AAA games that would cut off a toe for those kind of numbers. Dark Souls 3 is the furthest possible thing from an underappreciated gem. However, and you knew there was a however coming, I don't feel that Dark Souls 3 holds quite the cultural cachet of the other titles in developer From's slash-em-ups. You know? Like, where the other games have super devoted followings, people who will passionately argue that they're the absolute best or absolute worst, Dark Souls 3 just kind of exists. It's not at the top of many people's lists, but it's not at the bottom either. It is almost technically unassailable. From a sheer craft standpoint, pretty faultless. And yet, 2016 was the year that Inside came out. The Last Guardian, Doom, Titanfall 2, and yeah, Dark Souls 3 also. It's not unusual to get series
Dark Souls.
fatigue.
So I know a good bit about this video, even though I never watched it. I know, and I also know a good bit about Dark Souls 3, and I really like Dark Souls 3 from what I know about it, but I haven't actually played it.
Lacking some huge reinvention of style or setting. But Dark Souls 3 seems especially victim to this, because the story itself feels kind of exhausted. Here we are, another poor soul going to relight the fire or let it go out again. Here's the castle, here's the big dragon, here are the gargoyles. Again. It is more fun to play than it ever has been, but personally, the idea of learning a bunch of new lore and new proper nouns wasn't nearly as appealing as in past games. Why would I, when it felt like we were just retreading old ground? And most damning of all, Dark Souls 3 seemingly couldn't help but pull in shadows of its former self. Bosses and names and locations in a greatest hits collection
Joey.
of Souls
Sleep well. I
glories
love
from
you.
days past. Anne Orlando is back, baby. The central hub is Firelink Shrine again. You're fighting Ornstein again, and now he's got an axe. I'm presenting these things as negatives because I'm setting up the points I'm going to rebut. You've seen a video essay. But also because when I talk to people about Dark Souls 3, this is what they bring up. That it's just unfortunately derivative. That it feels like it's out of ideas. That the world doesn't have much to say.
This was how I
compared to
felt
the
about Dark
boundless
Souls 3
depths
for a
of the
long time,
first
and it's
two.
why I haven't played it.
And this is where I disagree. Because while I understand the frustrations, I think Dark Souls 3 knows exactly what it's doing. Dark Souls 3, the echoes of its past, the corruption of its characters, the collapse of its themes, is the entropic scream of a dying world. Dark
Realizing
Souls 3 is
this-
thinking of ending things.
Realizing that's what Dark Souls 3 is made me love the game. I still haven't played it, but I do
Near the
kind of love it.
beginning of Charlie Kaufman's film I'm Thinking of Ending Things, based on Ian Reid's book of the same name, Jesse Plemons' character, Jake, asks Jesse Buckley's character if he can hear a poem she wrote. She protests, says that she'd prefer for him to read it, but he keeps asking, and eventually she relents.
Coming home is terrible. Whether the dogs lick your face or not.
The poem is long and tortured and raw. Although the movie hasn't exactly been warm up until this point, the recitation of this poem is one of the first glimpses of how bleak I'm Thinking of Ending Things really is.
The weather immobile, like a broken limb, while you just keep getting older.
The thing is, this poem isn't original to the film. It's called Bone Dog, and it was written by a poet named Eva H.D. years before the movie came out. This, on its own, isn't that unusual. What makes the presence of this poem unsettling is that later on in the film, Jesse Buckley's character finds Eva H.D.'s book in Jake's childhood bedroom. She realizes that the intimate part of herself she shared in the car, part of her own world, isn't hers. It's a moment where the artifice of the film's narrative and her character's existence reveals itself. From the perspective of, say, a friend who's looking at their phone for most of the movie, I'm Thinking of Ending Things is a story about a woman who goes on a car ride with her boyfriend to his parents' house, they eat dinner, they start to drive home, and then things go enough off the rails that even the friend would have to notice. It ends in a high school, with both Jake and the girlfriend disappearing from the plot and being replaced with this old school janitor guy, who we've been seeing flashes of throughout the movie. The truth of I'm Thinking of Ending Things is that very little of it is real. The whole thing, the car ride, the dinner with parents, the late night stop at the ice cream shop in the blizzard, it's all an imagined reality playing out in Jake's head. Jake is, in that reality, the young man visiting his parents with his girlfriend. Jake is, really, that old school janitor. He is thinking of ending things. And while he does, during the final days and hours of his life, he's mentally reaching around for anything to hold on to. This is where the poem comes from, something that he encountered years ago and he's incorporating into this fantasy. This is also where the woman comes from. In truth, she was never his girlfriend. She's just someone he briefly encountered during bar trivia.
We were celebrating our anniversary, stopped in for a drink, and then this guy kept looking at me. Just one of thousands of such non-interactions in my life.
Jake, the janitor, is pulling all of these into a sort of end-of-days miasma, their connections and context blurring in his mind. In his room, we also see a book from critic Pauline Kael, and later on in the drive home, his girlfriend both recites one of Kael's reviews while adopting her whole affect.
This character age when beauty is deepened beyond ingenue roles, Roland's can look old or young. Roland's
So he and I had the same idea about the plot.
Mabel fragments.
Towards the end, Jake does a speech that's basically ripped directly from A Beautiful Mind, another DVD on his shelf. These aren't
I knew
Easter
that
eggs.
looked familiar!
They draw attention to themselves. They're bizarre digressions. They destabilize our idea of what we're watching.
Wait.
They destabilize our idea of what we're watching.
A Beautiful Mind, Introduction to Virology? David Foster Wallace, a supposedly fun thing I'll never do again?
Watching. Details keep shifting around. The woman's name is Lucy, or Louisa, or Ames.
I know that. Ames?
Is that short for Amy? That doesn't sound right.
Time doesn't stay consistent. Trying to get a clear picture of what's actually reality feels almost pointless.
Yeah, I stopped
It's
trying
just
even
not
halfway
what
through.
the story is about. Dark Souls is a series with a tremendous amount of lore. But I have to come clean. I've never been much of a lore guy. I mean, I dabble. I watch VTuber. I'm not a monster. But for me, knowing the specific land a character came from, or a boss's history, or whatever is never as important as the overarching themes.
There's really
of the
only
plot.
one piece of Dark Souls lore that I really get into.
Of the story.
And it's
Playing Dark Souls 3,
Priscilla.
especially a vibe-fueled first playthrough, often feels like fan fiction.
Yeah, we're watching Dark Souls 3 is thinking of ending things.
From this game, you kill a giant with Storm Ruler, a sword that's
Marcy, the movie we just watched was I'm Thinking of Ending Things.
It's not even from this series. Havel is back, and he appears to have used his dragon tooth to kill an actual dragon. There's this sense that Dark Souls 3 is kind of like playing with all your action figures at once.
Yeah, and I stopped it halfway through because I didn't want to get spoiled on the movie.
This Watcher's fight, you've got enemies styled like the legendary Artorias from the first game, fighting each other at the same time they're fighting you. You got a Bionicle fighting a Power Ranger over here. But not dissimilarly to Bone Dog and I'm Thinking of Ending Things, these encounters start to feel not just self-referential, but wrong, in a more profound sense. For instance, no one who's played Dark Souls 1 will ever forget the ascension to Anor Londo, golden sparkling city high above the first several hours of playtime.
It is incredible.
Anor Londo is present in Dark Souls 3 as well, another stop on its greatest hits tour, but it's not the glimmering vista we encountered in Dark Souls 1, it's the shameful afterimage. Maybe your first time in Anor Londo, maybe your fifth, you get bored and rambunctious, and you decide to throw something at Guinevere. And as soon as you do, she screams and disappears, and takes the sun with her, and the real city reveals itself, dark and cold and dead. And that's the Anor Londo that comes back in Dark Souls 3. It's not romantic, it's not glorified. Anor Londo's tricks, the incredible endless hallway, the magic painting, are gone. The giant blacksmith is slumped over in the corner, and in the grand hall that originally housed the shining Ornstein and Smough now has a half-eaten corpse of Gwendolyn, another boss from the first game, puppeted around by some unknown horror. There's a sort of unnerving dissonance at the heart of a lot of Dark Souls 3's callbacks. Because it does feel like you're supposed to be excited about them. You're supposed to get the fun light bulb moment, the I recognize this place endorphins, followed by the slow realization that what you remember has been decaying for all the time you let it slip from your mind.
This reminds me a lot of Returnal, actually.
And Orlando is a ghost.
Come to think of it.
The Ash Lake is burning. Things can't go on much longer. In I'm Thinking of Ending Things, Jake's house has an off-limits basement. There are plenty of unsettling things that aren't in the basement. Dead farm animals, strangely familiar
really was.
photographs, parents with an unorthodox tempo of conversation. It means that the basement weighs even more heavily on our mind. What worse things could be in there? If this is what's out in the open, what's still being hidden away?
Don't look down in the basement.
The answer, again, is the artifice. After dinner, Lucy/Lucia/Ames finds her way down into the basement and finds things that are, to her, completely inexplicable. A bunch of janitor uniforms in the washing machine, paintings that she could have sworn she painted, but here they are, and signed with Jake's name. There's really no way for her to make sense of these things. To us, though, with a metatextual knowledge of the story and tone, they're ominous signs that nothing in this world should be taken literally. In one of the last areas in Dark Souls 3, after following a path off the side of a garden, there's a room that simply has a chest sitting against a wall. But because this is a Souls game, if you go behind this chest and smack the wall, it falls away to show darkness. But as you walk into that darkness, it reveals itself to be a perfect copy of the very first area, graves and cliffs, and even the whole of Firelink Shrine, devoid of life and light.
God, that's so cool.
There is, as with
That's
everything,
so fucking cool.
a bunch of lore here. Stuff about failed quests and relinquishments of duty and even different timelines. But for me, it's more simple than that. This is the game's basement, hidden away down non-essential paths and behind illusory walls. This is the spot
I
where
wish I
our
didn't know so
understanding
much
of
about
the
Dark
world
Souls
falls
3, but
apart, and our idea of ourselves.
I've just seen
an
so much
important
about it
character
that
with a
nothing about
quest
it
and
can really, like,
motivations starts to
I
fracture.
don't want to say nothing can shock me, but I just
Who
know so
and
much.
What are we in the context of this dead mirror of
Yeah, Demon
what we
Souls
thought
doesn't
we knew?
like Demon Souls
Throughout,
doesn't.
I'm thinking of ending things. Lucy et al. Keeps getting phone calls from herself. In the movie, it's for the duration of the car trip. In the book, it's been happening for weeks. The phone calls have a man's voice on the other end, one she doesn't recognize, but we ultimately come to understand is Jake breaking the walls of his own imagined reality. He keeps saying the same thing.
There's only one question to resolve. I'm scared. I feel a little crazy here, not lucid. How the assumptions are right. I can feel my fear growing. Now is the time for the answer. Just one question to answer.
The question, as is made explicit in the final pages of the book, is simple. Continue or not? Go on or... It is called I'm Thinking of Ending Things, after all. The cleverness of the book and the film's storytelling is that by making Lucy the main character, the threat and the horror of the situation are externalized. She is trapped in a world that's thinking of ending things, whether she wants to go with it or not.
Which is basically the Dark... I mean, that's all of Dark Souls 3.
The Dark Souls series has
that's
really
really
always
the
been
Dark Souls
obsessed with
DLC
this
more than
question.
anything. The Dark
Do
Souls
you
3
go
one.
on or not? In the series parlance, linking the fire means essentially continuing forward with the current world. Although, paradoxically, it also means throwing yourself into the flames. Oh god, this is more complicated than I thought. The Age of Fire is the era that these games take place in. It's an age where humans can build big castles and learn to sword fight and continue in an endless monarchical procession. The Age of Fire is, broadly speaking, not good. All these horrible monsters and corrupted humans you fought over the past 3 games, that's the Age of Fire. It is not a great time, but it is known. At the end of the first game, the first of your 2 choices is to prolong the Age of Fire, keeping the world at more or less its status quo. Your other choice is to leave, to not rekindle the fire, to walk into the dark. This is treated as kind of the renegade option, and in the following games it's clear that even if you didn't rekindle the fire, someone did. The Age of Fire is still happening in Dark Souls 2, even if the names and locations are different, and the Age of Fire is still happening in Dark Souls 3, and god, it's tired. This is the Age of Fire after 3 games, 6 DLCs, countless cycles, infinite lore videos. By Dark Souls 3, the world is bringing itself to an end, crashing in on itself whether you like it or not.
This is just something I respect about the game so much. The creators clearly felt with Dark Souls 3 that they had no more story to tell of Lordran, of whatever it's called now, you know, a Firelink Shrine, of these people. They clearly felt they were ready to move on. They had no more story to tell, but people kept begging them, we need more. Dark Souls 2 wasn't like the other one. We need more. We need more. So it's a game that's begging on its hands and knees in its gameplay, in its world, in everything, to let it die.
This is why characters and locations from the earlier games keep showing up. This is why more bosses in Dark Souls 3 seem to be
it wallows in it
insane
because
than
it
any
can't
other
help it.
game in the series. This is why when you reach the Dreg Heap, everything is colliding with everything else and rolling into oblivion. There are, technically, the most possible endings in Dark Souls 3 out of any Souls game. But there aren't really. What are your choices? You can try and rekindle the fire, like you did in Dark Souls 1. It barely works. The embers sputter and you sit below the cold sun. Choices 2 and 3, you summon the Firekeeper, she puts out the fire, or you kill her, the fire goes out. Choice 4, you take the fire, you walk away, the fire is out. There's the facade of agency here, but it all leads to the same conclusion, because it's not really your decision to make anymore. It's the countless cycles before this, dragging the world to its breaking point. It's the one question to answer. To continue.
I'm not lucid.
Or not. And again,
I'm scared. I can feel my fear growing. The assumptions were right.
In my mind, all of these choices aren't particularly important because they don't feel like the end of the story anyway. That comes in the final DLC for the game, the Ringed City. To be honest, a lot of the Ringed City is kinda nonsense for me. I don't know what this place is or why it's important.
I'm doing very good, although a bit existential.
Everything else is being crushed under. I know there are lore answers to this. I told you I'm just running on vibes. It's beautiful and thematically empty to me until you reach the very end of it, walking up these stairs and finding this woman and touching her egg, and it crumbles. And then I'm just gonna let it play out here.
I kind of despise too. I don't think it's just an angel egg reference. I think it's a lot more than that. It looks like it has the Dark Soul in it, yes. Hello, Eldred. I mean, I'm pretty up to date on Dark Souls lore, and even I still don't really understand what this is. I don't really understand what it's supposed to be, what really happens. It's almost as if the illusion of the Ringed City itself gets shattered, but also it sort of seems like time itself passes. It's not really very clear. I mean, there's only one thing left.
This is the real
one man who refused to die.
Souls. Dust and ruin and fallen kingdoms. And it's here whether you chose to prolong the fire or not. Dark Souls 3 shows us a land stretched to its breaking point and forced to keep going until ultimate collapse.
Yeah, I'm pretty up to date in the lore, and I don't know why touching the egg does that, but
grandiose absurdity at the end of both of these
no,
pieces.
I don't think it's just a reference, just like to be cool or whatever.
Gale, who's lasted
I think it definitely means
time,
something.
Killing either a whole lot of people or literally everyone.
I really don't think much of any of the Souls games have a reference just because it's cool, personally.
The film ends with Jake performing a full musical number to a packed audience. Gale holds more than a passing resemblance to maybe the series' most famous boss, Artorias. The song Jake sings is from Oklahoma. They're both still made of the shadows of art that came before them, but that doesn't make them not spectacular. And then, well, this is where my parallels end. Because I'm thinking of ending things as much as it's a cerebral look at how our influences impact us, and as beautiful as some of the sequences are, it is unavoidably a story about one man deciding to end his own life. And it's tragic. It is profoundly sad. The fact that we can guess at some of the aspects of his life that led him here doesn't make it any less of a tragedy. The Souls series, however, has never really been about individuals. These are stories about eras of time.
No, it's always
and
been about the
countless
tragedy of
generations.
man.
And while this is what I love to do, personify abstract concepts, draw lines between concretely human feelings and the imagined feelings of cities and lands and worlds, it's very important in this case to define the limits of this analogy. Dark Souls 3 is about the entropy of ending things, about how scary and chaotic that process can be, but it is not about suicide. And this can be seen by the very last thing you do in the game. taking the remains of your climactic fight with Gale and giving them to a painter. She sits in a burning building surrounded by flames, but she's confident she'll be able to take this material and use it to paint a new world. Dark Souls 3 is thinking of ending things, but its end isn't ultimately represented by loss, but new life. The last message of this game is about our ability to take those losses and move on, and really that can be read in whatever context you'd like. Move on from grief, from fear, from artistic tedium. Dark Souls 3 is a firework, an explosion, an argument for why it should probably be the last Dark Souls game, and a meditation on why that's okay. It is the lump sum of all its influences, crashing in on themselves in a world-ending finale, and making room for whatever's next.
Like, I just don't personally, I don't personally think the lore of Dark Souls matters. Like, I kind of agree with him. I think the lore of Dark Souls genuinely doesn't matter. The lore of Dark Souls is just there because, you know, like, you can follow it, and you can follow all its paths, and you can know everything, but it won't change anything. It's always, as he put it, been more about the vibes. Dark Souls 3 wants to make you, like, or not Dark Souls 3, FromSoft games, ever since Demon Souls, make you want to feel something. Armored Core has always been like, wow. Like, it's easy to go, wow, cool robot, but it's also just a meditation of like, wow, look what war does to people. You know, sure, cool robot. Think about the implications of the fact that giant cool robot has to exist. This is a world where giant cool robot has to exist. What does that mean? Is war so bad that we have to throw giant trillion-dollar robots at each other? Is that what we've come to? Like, what does that mean? What are the vibes of that? One of my favorite, my favorite piece of lore in Dark Souls is probably lore that doesn't even exist because I've kind of made it up. And ironically, it relates to this a lot. My favorite piece of lore is Priscilla. Specifically, hold on. Who the fuck is this? Specifically this. I mean, I think it's intentionally incoherent, though. That's the point.
One of us thou art not. If thou hast misstepped into this world, plunge down from the plank and hurry home. If thou seekest I, thine desires shall be requited not. Thou must returneth whence thou came. This land is peaceful, its inhabitants kind.
That line right there. This land is peaceful, its inhabitants kind. That line fucks me up so bad because of the vibes of it. I know a little bit of the lore about, I mean, that's not true. I know a lot of the lore, but like, Priscilla holds both in her scythe and also within her as a being, the life hunt, the power to kill gods, the power to end gods, not just end their form, not just beat them down physically, to remove them, to send them to the hereafter, to reduce them to a form which no longer exists. She is de facto the most powerful being in any of the Souls games ever. Like, she has the life hunt. She can just kill or remove anything. She rends your soul asunder. There is no, I mean, I said send you the hereafter. There's not really a hereafter for you if you die to the life hunt. That's it. Game over. Infinite oblivion. Right? But yet, she's kind. And not only is she kind, not only does she knows her power, she's trapped in this prison, you know, in this painting, and this painting world is crumbling apart because the painting is crumbling apart. She's been trapped here for so long that the painting guardians don't even know why they're guarding it anymore. They don't even know that she's in there. Nobody but Priscilla even remembers being put in Priscilla's painted world, her prison. And she could leave. She could. at any moment. And again, the painting is falling apart. The world around her is falling apart. The people are falling apart. They're melting. They're slug creatures that form a phalanx around a statue that isn't even worshipable anymore because it's just like, it's just nothing. It's crumbled to nothingness. It's not a dying world. It's a dead world. It's a dead world forced to carry on. Ironically, it's also kind of thinking of ending things. It's a world that doesn't need to exist, a world that you aren't even supposed to be able to access, and the only way you even can is through what is essentially a secret that nobody would ever think to even do, to go back to your old asylum room. And despite all of this, despite the fact that she's in this prison that is falling apart, despite the fact that she's guarded by a dragon that rips itself asunder just to stop you from getting to her, despite the fact that she's almost inaccessible to anybody in the world, and despite the fact that she could leave at any point, when you go to her, she doesn't try to fight you. And the only thing she can tell you is that this land is peaceful and its inhabitants kind. Priscilla doesn't want to leave. This isn't prison. This is home. This is the only place anybody on the planet, in the universe, won't want her dead because of what she is. It's the only place in the whole game, in the whole universe, that they're not going to want her dead because of what she is. And how sad is it that the little outcasted girl can only find peace and home in a place filled with melting people who can't even remember why they're there in the first place. Right? That's the vibes. That's the vibes of the painted world. And it's just this random place that you can just go to by accident. And to me, that's the vibes of the Souls series. Priscilla's area was the first area ever made for Dark Souls, ever. That's why it's a hidden area. If you want to go dev stuff, that's why it's like a hidden area that, means nothing. Priscilla was going to be one of the fire keepers. She was going to be, because fire keepers are like female companions, like the Bloodborne doll, like the fire keeper in 3, like the Emerald Herald in 2. I mean, there's even a fire keeper in 1. They've always been there. They're like a staple of Souls games. But people forget because the fire keeper in 1 is imprisoned and can't talk. And it's really, really easy. It's really easy to accidentally do her quest without even realizing it and just have her die. And she was originally going to be the fire keeper. This was the first area they ever made for the game. And instead of cutting it out, they put it in this tiny area that you don't even go to, or you don't even have to go to, rather. You could do the whole game without ever seeing her. And to me, it's got the vibes, not just of Dark Souls 1, but of the Souls series as a whole. There is kindness, there is compassion, there is even love to be found. But the world does not hold it. There's kindness and compassion and care to be found in individuals, but the world itself does not hold it. Because Dark Souls 3 is a cycle of death. Not Dark Souls 3, Dark Souls is a series, rather, is a cycle of death. It is a cycle of trying to keep essentially the status quo alive forever for no reason. Just because you've been told that that's what you should do. Like, no place encapsulates all of Dark Souls' vibe to me better than the painted world of Ariamas. Absolutely nowhere. That's why I love Priscilla so much. And that's why I really vibe with what Jacob is saying about I'm thinking of ending things being like sort of this like almost like refutation of Dark Souls or of Dark Souls 3. It feels like they are pieces of media made with the same property, the same idea. Not even just Dark Souls 3 though. I think the whole Dark Souls 3 is the most, but I think the whole thing is like that. I think all of Dark Souls is this somber. Yes, it is. The reason Dark Souls lore is written like that is because Miyazaki read books about stories as like Arthurian legend type stuff as a kid, but he didn't know English well, so he could only read like half of it. So whenever he would get to a part that he couldn't understand, he would just fill in the stuff in his mind. Also, he really likes Berserk, and Berserk is very sad. So, you know, that influenced the way that he filled in things in his mind. But yes, that is exactly what happened. Yeah, I don't know. It's really hard to not think of Dark Souls when I watch a movie like I'm thinking of ending things, because like I said, it feels like they're written from the same cloth. It feels, you know, not just Dark Souls 3, but you know, games like Returnal, games like Dark Souls, like series like Dark Souls, it feels like they're all written from the same cloth of this, like, this, I mean, you know, this one struggle, you know? Do you keep going, or are you thinking of ending things? Like, you know? I mean, even Priscilla knows at some point that her world will fall apart. Gwen trapped us all in Samsara? Yeah, where is it? Hold on. I love this. Because you could just make this about Dark Souls. You could make this about Returnal. This actually looks like the text for an audio log you could find in Returnal, doesn't it? I've been playing a lot of that game. Think about some of the audio logs. This looks like, you know, you put Atropos log or Astrolog 27 on here, you know? Like, all of them are refutations of, like, trauma and what it means to be traumatized. I don't know. I relate to that. I love that sort of stuff. God damn, what a good movie. What a good fucking movie. All right, I'm gonna stop the YouTube recording now for this this watch along, because that is my feelings, and I kind of talked a lot more about Dark Souls, but whatever.